Namaste Nrsinghaya. Namaste Nrsinghaya. Hiranyakashi Shilatankanakalaye Ito Nrshinga Parato Nrshinga To Nrshinga Parato Nrshinga Yato Yato Yamita To Nrshinga Yato Yato Yamita To Nrshinga Mahe Nrshinga Hiriday Nrshinga Mahe Nrshinga Hiriday Nrshinga Nrshingam Saranam Prapare Nrshingam Saranam Prapare Tavakar Kamalavare Nata Adhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanuvringa Keshavajita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Tavakar Kamalavare Naka Adhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanuvringa Keshavajita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Nrshinga Jaya Nrshinga Nrshinga Jaya Nrshinga Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jai Jai Prabhupada 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 Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Go Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, without wasting much time, let's just get into it. We'll talk about, today we're going to Nrshinga Pali, a very beautiful place in Sri Mayapur, and we'll see what happens there. So first, before we start, we'll just give you some background history about Lord Nrsingadev. So we see that Hiranyakashipu was the father of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj was a very staunch devotee of the Lord, and Hiranyakashipu tried to um, inflict so much of pain to his 5-year-old son. But he sent him to a demoniac school where he could learn how to become a demon. It so happened that his father went to perform austerities to Lord Brahma in order to get the boon of immortality. So his mother took shelter of Narada, and when she was there in his ashram, she was hearing Srimad Bhagavatam while she was pregnant for Prahlad. And he became a great devotee of the Lord because of the potency of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is being described in the Bhagavatam itself, Nasta Prayesha Bhadreshu, Nityam Bhagavata Sevya, Bhagavati Uttama Shloke, Bhakti Bhavati Naishtaki, that anyone who hears Srimad Bhagavatam, all that is troublesome in the heart is completely destroyed to null. And the Lord is established within his heart. So we see that here, in the meantime, Prahlad was listening to Bhagavatam within the womb of his mother, and Hiranyakashipu was performing austerities, like standing on one leg and hands in the air, clasped um, in a prayerful mudra, and he was standing there for thousands and thousands of years, until an ant hill formed around him. So eventually Brahma was satisfied with his austerity and asked what boon he would like. So Hiranyakashipu asked for the boon of immortality, and Brahma said, I don't even have, I'm not immortal, so how can I give you what I don't have? So Hiranyakashipu asked him for 5 other boons, like to cover his bases, that he would not die. So he said, may I not die or killed during the day or the night, right? So not the day, not the night. Inside a residence or outside a residence, on land or sky or water. So I shouldn't be killed in all these places. By a beast or a man, not be killed by any weapon as well. So Brahma said, Tathastu, that's your wishes, then so be it. So Hiranyakashipu tried to kill his son Prahlad Maharaj in so many ways, because he was a devotee of the Lord, and he kept preaching even to his classmates, at school. And so Hiranyakashipu was very disturbed about this when he came back home. So we see that he harmed Prahlad in so many ways by throwing him down a cliff, feeding him poison, putting him in a pit full of snakes, and so many more, uh, all because he was a devotee of the Lord. So he asked Prahlad Maharaj, where is your God? Where is your Lord? You keep talking about your Lord, but I can't see him anywhere. Where is he? And Prahlad Maharaj says, he's everywhere, Father. Like, can't you see? Because Prahlad could see the Lord everywhere, but because he was a pure devotee. But obviously Hiranyakashipu couldn't, because he's a demon. So he said, like, can't you see he's everywhere? So then his father said, is he in this pillar? And Prahlad Maharaj said, yes, Father, he's in this pillar. And Nrshinga took out his sword and struck the pillar. And guess what? Out came Nrshinga, half man and half lion. So basically, all the boons that Brahma had given was actually fulfilled, in that he wasn't killed uh, during the day or the night. He was killed around twilight, right? So that boon was fulfilled. And he wasn't killed uh, by any man or beast. He was killed by the Lord himself, appearing as a half man and half lion. So he wasn't killed outside nor inside. He was killed on the doorway. The doorway is neither outside nor inside. It's basically on the doorway, right? It's on the threshold of the door. So he wasn't killed on the ground, in air, or in water. He was killed on the lap of the Lord. And he wasn't killed by any weapon, but he was killed with the Lord's nails, right? The Lord ripped him apart. And most devotees, they joke and they say that was the first open heart surgery that was ever performed, right? So yes, so this is what the Lord did. He ripped him apart with his nails. So now we go to Nrshinga Pali. Nrshinga Pali is situated on the eastern part of Navadvip. There's a temple of Nrshinga there, and there's a self-manifest deity. That deity is, around 2,160,000 years old. So what happened was, when the Lord killed Nrshingadev, at least Nrshingadev killed Hiranyakashipu, He was flying back to Vaikuntha, and on his way he stopped at Nrshinga, Pali. He realized that he would appear here in the future, so he decided to check out the place. So Nishingapali is situated on the road bank of the Mandakini River, and obviously now the river has been dried up. So but previously the river was flowing, and all the demigods built their bhajan kutir uh, there. But Lord Nishingadev was a presiding deity because of the self of his left behind us, like a self-manifested deity appeared there, right? And then the demigods start to worship Lord Nishingadev in that form. And we find that there is a prediction by Bhakti Vinod Thakur, that he predicted that there will be a time that will come when a great devotee of Lord Nishingadev will appear, and he will build a massive temple in that area of Navadvip. And so basically, the devotees, oh yeah, and he gives a specific location of the area as well. He said it will be situated 16 koshas on the border of Navadvip. So devotees in that area at the moment, they basically worship Nishingadev to remove all their suffering and miseries. And there's a beautiful lake there that the demigods built, that when the Lord came, he took his bath there. So we all need the blessings of Lord Nrshinga, seeing how this world is going. Padam, padam, yadvi padam nitesham. There is danger at every step. So we all need to take shelter of Lord Nrshinga. And in order to basically protect our bhakti lata kripa, our kripa of devotional service to the Lord, therefore, we take shelter of Lord Nrshinga. We sing his prayers every morning after Mangal Arati, right? So there are thorns on the royal road to hell, at least to the royal road to heaven, and or to the spiritual world. And we have to overcome all the obstacles that we find on our path back home, back to Godhead. So we need to be faithful and stick to the process of Krishna consciousness in order to make it back to the spiritual world. So therefore, we need to take shelter of the Lord, surrender unto his lotus feet, and keep praying to the Lord, to remove us from remove all the obstacles that are strewn on our path back to the spiritual world. So a nice story that comes to mind, which is not very far off, right? It's close to home. And the story goes like this, that it's a real story actually, that took place in Tongat, KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. So at Tongat, we all know that Tongat is a sugar producing town, right? Hewlett's Sugar. So there was a little girl that was playing ball, and somehow the ball went across the road and she ran to go fetch it. As she ran across, a huge truck carrying loads of sugarcane knocked her, and she flew into the air and then landed on the ground. She was rushed to hospital, and the doctor was amazed to find that none of her bones were broken. And, she just had little scratches here and there. So when she awoke from being unconscious for a while, the doctors were talking that this was a miracle, and the girl said that it was the lion god that saved her. So Lord Nishingadev caught me as I flew through the air, and he placed me gently on the ground. So that is how, the child did not break any of her bones, because she was so tender, just like about 5-6 years old. Uh, so in this way, the little girl was saved. This is the potency of Lord Nrshinga. Just by showing a little devotion to the Lord shows his unlimited mercy. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that my devotees do not know anything but me, and I do not know anything but my devotees. So there is a strong bond between the Lord and his devotees. Right? Uh, we all are chanting Hare Krishna, and we're trying to develop our lost relationship with the Lord, right? And so in this way, when we pray to the Lord and we establish a relationship with him, then the Lord he's a person, and he basically, he is very personal with us in this way. So in the Bhagavatam, there's 10 incarnations of the Lord that is stated, right, in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And Lord Nrsingadev is one of them. The Lord appears as half man and half lion. So why did Krishna appear in this form? If we analyze the word Nrsinga, Nara means man and Singa means lion. So why? Just to protect one devotee, right? Prahlad Maharaj, because of his love and devotion to him. He came just for that purpose. And we see in our modern days, now in this Pali Yuga, the Lord protects all devotees, right? There are many Sankirtan stories to this effect, right? Um, and the one that I just told you now about how this girl, was saved by Lord Nrsingadev, and there's many more as well. When demons try to obstruct the service of the Lord in spreading the holy names, then they also the Lord basically intervenes and he protects his devotees. So we find that in this day and age of Kali Yuga, all we need to do is chant the holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And in this way, establish our relationship with the Lord. Right? So there's a nice verse in our Puranas that say, "Oh, my Lord, O transcendental lion, together with Lakshmi, I offer my obeisances unto you. Sometimes you fly in the sky, and your mane hairs glow with brilliance." Uh, I just lost the track. So, yeah, and your mane hairs glow with brilliance. Your glance and touch of your nails are the source of auspiciousness. So if Krishna glances at you, right, the devotee, then you get his mercy. And if you're a demon, then you get his nails. And both are basically auspicious because when he killed Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyakashipu also got his mercy, and in that way he was liberated, right? Hiranyakashipu was liberated. So we find that the Lord, he's kind to his devotees, very kind to his devotees, and he also awards liberation to the demons, right? But he doesn't award the same type of mukti or liberation to the demons, because the demons are always obviously envious towards him. So he, for the devotee, he awards very special mercy in that we can enjoy with him in the spiritual world in Goloka Vrindavan, whereas the demons, they go to the Brahmajyoti, and after some time they fall back to this material world, right? So in this way we see how Nrsingadev basically awarded uh, benedictions to Hiranyakashipu. Also, in the seventh canto, 7-8-35, there's a prayer. Here it is being stated that this is the seventh canto. Hiranyakashipu had been a fever of meningitis in the head of the three worlds. When the wives of the demigods saw that the great demon has been killed by the personal hands of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, their faces blossomed with great joy. They showered flowers upon Nrshingadev again and again, like rain, right? So that's the verse from the seventh canto. So we understand that Lord Nrshingadev not only kills demons within, but also the demons without. So without and within, right? He kills the demons. So we have many demons in our hearts: lust, anger, greed, all of these things, um, envy, right? We have all these the six enemies of the heart, right? And he removes as we chanting Hare Krishna, then he removes these unwanted weeds in our heart. So therefore we take shelter of Lord Nrshingadev. My dear Lord, I have a hard time cleaning my heart. Please can you help me to clean my heart? So if we pray like this, then the Lord very nicely, he will cleanse our hearts. And in this way, we can become pure devotees of the Lord and go back to the spiritual world, right? So we as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we pray to Lord Nrshingadev to please give us protection so that we can finish our course of Krishna consciousness and proceed back home, back to Godhead, and to remove the obstacles on our path. So in this way, the Lord assists us. We find that in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a pastime as well where the Nawab Hussain Shah at that time he was ruling over Navadvip, and he got very upset when the devotees were chanting the holy names of the Lord, and he sent his soldiers to break the mirdangas and to stop the chanting of the holy names of Krishna. So what happened was, he slept that night and he woke up. When he got up, the Lord was sitting on his chest, right? And he saw this half man, half lion form of the Lord. And Lord Nrshingadev told him, if you try to stop the Sankirtan movement, then you will be finished. So please, if you want to live, then you let this Hare Krishna chanting go on. You don't stop the Hare Krishna, the process of the Nam Sankirtan of the holy names of the Lord. So in this way, the Nawab Hussain Shah, he wrote a decree that no one should stop the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So we find in Srila Prabhupada's time, when the Juhu temple was being built, there was one Mr. Nayak that tried to obstruct the construction of the temple in so many ways by sending gundas to beat the devotees and tearing down the makeshift temple that they had built for Radharas Bihari. Srila Prabhupada had promised Shri Radharas Bihari that he would build them a temple. And now so many oppositions, court cases, violence, thievery, and the works, And this was a bit too much that was going on. So Srila Prabhupada was so busy establishing the worldwide ISKCON at that point, and he prayed to the Lord, please, to help him in this way with his Juhu project. So one day he got a phone call and a broad smile appeared upon his face. And when he put the phone down, then his servant Shamasundar, he asked Srila Prabhupada, what is the broad smile all about? Did you get some good news? And Srila Prabhupada said, yes. He said, Mr. Naya is dead. He said, I prayed to the Lord, to please assist me with this Juhu project. And yes, he has assisted me in this way. So we see that Giriraj Swami has written a book on this whole Juhu project, and sometime get an opportunity, you must read that book. It's very interesting on how this temple was constructed in Mumbai, rather Rasbihari at Juhu Beach. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he ties the worship of Nrshingadev with Radha and Krishna, right? He is praying to Nrshingadev. Within my heart are the six enemies headed by lust. Perpetually resides duplicity and the desire for fame. I pray to Lord Nrshingadev to purify my heart so as to attain the lotus feet of Krishna. Weeping, I pray to Lord Nrshingadev to please show me favor to worship Radha and Krishna. When will he become pleased and shower his mercy? Even though he is very terrifying to sinful souls, he awards great auspiciousness to the devotees of Krishna, headed by Prahlad Maharaj. When will he speak words of compassion unto a worthless fool like me, and make me fearless? He will say, dear child, sit down freely in Gauranga Dham, and may you worship nicely the divine couple, and may you develop attachment for the holy names. By my mercy, worship Radha and Krishna, which are filled with sweet mellows. Just worship Radha Krishna. Saying this, will that Lord place his divine feet upon my head. So this is a prayer by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And we can also pray like this, compose our own prayers, to the Lord. So we see that ISKCON has established the worship of Nrshingadev in Mayapur as well. And in the early days when we were trying to build a temple in Mayapur, then there were lots of people stealing bricks, cement like this. And also they also harassed the devotees. They came and they beat the devotees. And, I think one of the Swamis broke his leg, and or one of the devotees broke their legs. And so there's so much of things going on. And so they came together and made a decision that we should actually worship Nrshingadev. So they tried to get a deity of Lord Nrshingadev and carved, but there was no one to carve this deity. So one devotee, Apatathva Prabhu, he went to South India, and there he found a Stapati, a person who could carve deities, and he told he gave him a drawing of the Lord Nrshingadev that they wanted, and in this way the devotee refused. He says, "No, this is a very fierce form of the Lord, and I cannot carve this form of the Lord for you." And then the devotee begged, he begged this sculptor to please carve this deity. So the sculptor went to his guru, and his guru, had a dream that night that he said, the Lord said, for ISKCON you can carve. So the next day, the guru told the disciple, the Stapati, that you can carve this deity for ISKCON. So many months went by, he gave his answer, yes, but many months went by, and the devotee went back to the sculptor, and the sculptor, he says, well, have you carved the deity yet? And he says, I'm not carving, an ordinary mortar. I'm carving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And for that, we need the right stone we need to find. We have to, it's basically the stone that is a live stone. And how do you determine a live stone? You determine a live stone when there's a certain insect that eats onto the stone from one end to the other, then that is a live stone, and only with that stone can you carve the deity of Lord Nrshinga. So he went looking for the stone, and he said he told the devotee, "You come back within a few months." So he went looking for the stone. He found the stone, and when the devotee came back within 2 months, he found that the sculptor was just looking at the stone and not doing anything. He was just looking at the stone. And the devotee asked, like, "Why are you just staring at the stone? Like, we need this a deity urgently. You please need to carve this deity." And the sculptor said, "Yes, just give me time. I need time. I need to chalk out the perfect way to sculpt the deity according to your drawing." So anyway, he started with his. The devotee went back to Mayapur, and this sculptor, he started to work on this stone basically, and he started carving the stone. So we see that when he finished carved the deity, then he basically did the pran pratishtha by opening the deity's eyes, and he put the deity in a shed, and he told, now I can go and spend some time with my friends. And it was a very rainy night, so eventually, he went to his friend's house, and he was basically there. And then somebody came running from his village and said, "Please, you have to come back now, because the deity, the whole shed has caught alight." So, so what happened was went. He went back to his place, and he saw the whole shed had caught alight, and the deity was just standing there. And he phoned the devotees and said, "Please come and take your deity right now, because he's causing havoc here. So you please come and take your Nrshingadev away." So the devotees, obviously, they came to it. That took a while, by transport, to go to South India, and they had to get many clearance certificates in order to take the deity back to Mayapur from South India. Eventually, he was installed in Mayapur and was worshipped by the twin brothers Pankajangri and Jananivas Prabhus. So we all know that Pankajangri Prabhu left his body, but now the worship of the deity has been, given to other devotees to worship, and so this is going on, right? So we find that before Kadamakanand Swami could leave South Africa on one of his last visits, I think it was before COVID, right? Before the pandemic, he gave us a miniature replica of the Nrshingadev deity in Mayapur. So I have one of that, and I will share this in a picture that will show you just now when I'm done. So yeah, so basically we are talking about Nrshinga Pali and how the deity of Lord Nrshingadev was self-manifested in Nrshinga Pali, and the devotees are worshipping him up till this day. They may not be ISKCON devotees, but the devotees of Nrshingadev. So this temple was constructed 2,160,000 years ago. And this deity has been there since then. And in future, a huge temple will be built there by one of the devotees. And Nrshingadev will be worshipped in a huge way, in a great way. So with this, I'll end, and we'll share some pictures now. And with each picture, I will try to relate something. So Paramatma Prabhu, please help us to can share the pictures. That'll be most great. I'll be most grateful to you. Right. So this is the self-manifested Nrshingadev that we are talking about. Oh, he was also on the advert, picture of the advert. Nrshinga Pali, self-manifested deity. Right. You can see that he's tearing apart Nrshingadev There is Hiranyakashipu there. So Lord Nrsingadev is tearing apart Hiranyakashipu on his lap. Next one. So this is our ISKCON Mayapur deity, right? That was being carved in South India and is worshipped today as well in Mayapur. A very fierce form of Lord Nrsingadev with red eyes, right? So next picture. Okay, this is a picture of the same picture of Lord Nrsingadev in Nrshinga Pali. Next. Oh, this is Nrshingadev in Kathmandu. So I guess this deity was carved, right? Of Lord Nrsingadev. You can see he's holding all his golden paraphernalia, Sudarshan Chakra, the club. Next row. Lord Nrsingadev, as the devotees worship him, with Prahlad after killing Hiranyakashipu, then Prahlad Maharaj garlanded him, right? And we see that nobody could calm him down because he was in such a fierce mood. Only Prahlad Maharaj could actually calm him down. All the demigods came and they were afraid of Lord Nrsingadev. Even Lakshmi Devi was so afraid of Lord Nrsingadev, but only Prahlad Maharaj could pacify the Lord. Next one. Okay, this is an Nrshinga Chatur Dasi, one of the years. So Lord Nrsingadev in Mayapur, and we see how beautiful he is, right? And so beautifully decorated as well. And you can see there's mangoes there, right? Because Lord Nrsingadev likes mangoes, apparently, in Mayapur. Next picture. Oh, this is the Stapati, or the sculptor who's actually sculpting the Nrsingadev, the Ugra Nrsinga form of the Lord for ISKCON. Can you see that? Next one. Here also. Can you see that shed that the Stapati was working in? Right? It's caught a light when he wasn't around. Next picture. Okay, so this picture is that they're preparing the Lord to be transported to Mayapur, right? So they basically loading him into the truck, I think, and they're carrying him with all these, because he's a heavy deity, you know. So they're carrying him with all these ropes and chains like that. and placing him into the truck. Next picture. Okay, so this is a completed deity of Lord Nrshinga, and you can see this is in South India, and he's basically being he's on his way basically to Mayapur at this point. Next picture, Pearl. Okay, I think this is one of the last pictures. And this is when the Lord comes to Mayapur, and the devotees are worshiping him. So there's also when the Lord will be established in the TOVP, the Temple of the Vedic Planetarium. So there's an advert there, right? It says presented by the Temple of the Vedic Planetarium in 2023 in conjunction with the completion and opening of the world's largest Nrshinga temple. So, a miracle in the making, our home of our divine protector. Are there any more pictures, Prabhu?
I guess Maji is the last one.
It's the last one. Okay. All right. Okay, this is the last one. Okay. So this is where the deity is performing. It's called Netra Milanam, a ceremony where they open the eyes, right? Or we say Pran Pratishta, where they give life into the deity. And they ask the Lord to please come and reside within the deities, like this. So you can see they're opening the eyes of the deity, right? So this is in South India. And eventually when, the the Stapati went away, then the whole shit caught alight. And Shingadev, he basically said, I want to go now. I want to be worshipped. I want to go back. I want to go to Mayapur. So please hurry up. And then that's when the Stapati, he called the devotees to please come and take Nrshingadev away. So Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Thank you, Prabhu, for sharing those wonderful pictures. And we'll stop here with this presentation. If you'd like to comment, if you'd like to say anything, you're most welcome to. Bhaktin Shamain.
Hare Krishna, thank you for a wonderful class. The insect that ate through the stone, what insect was it?
I'm not sure, but it's an insect that, eats the stone, and it's a live stone. So I'm not sure what's the name of the insect. So.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Naina Manjari, you had your...
Hare Krishna, Mataji, thank you for such a beautiful class. I need to ask Mataji, why do we address Lord Nrsimha and Nrshinga? We call him by two names. That's one question.
Sorry, say again.
And then why do we address Lord Nrsimha as Nrsimha sometimes and Nrshinga sometimes? Is there a difference?
Well, basically, in India, there's so many languages, and some people address him as Lord Nrsimha, and some people address him as Lord Nrshinga. So as I was explaining, Nar means man and Singh means lion, right? And then Nrsimha, some of them, address him as Lord Nrsimha. It all depends what language you're speaking, when you're in India, and how they address the Lord in like different ways. So even like ordinary pronunciation of names also differs in certain parts of India, certain states like that. So yeah, so like just say for the name Krishna, some places they call Krishna, some places they call Krishna. Some places they call Krishna, like especially in Jagannath Puri, they don't say Krishna, they say Krishna, like that. So different places they pronounce the Lord's names differently, like that. So.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. And another question quickly, Mataji, doesn't relate to today's class, but in the month of Kartik, we refer to little Krishna as Lord Damodar. Now, who is Lord Damodar and who is little Krishna? Can you please explain that to me properly so I understand?
Okay, so the Lord is known by different names according to the pastimes that he displays. And Lord Damodar is Lord Damodar, basically. Damo means belly, and Dar means to be bound. So to be bound by the waist, basically, right? So Damodar. So then that is why Krishna is called Damodar. And why is he called Krishna? And why is he called, like he's called Gopala because he take care of the cows, like that. So he's given different names. He's called Rishikesha because he's the master of the senses, right? So he has different names for the different activities that he performs. He's called Gopinath, right? The king of the gopis because he is the protector of the gopis. So he's called Gopinath, the lord of the gopis. Like here, he's called Radhanath. He is the lord of Radharani. Like that. So Krishna has numerous names, different names, right? And then he's called by different names according to the activities he performs.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
There you go. Did you say Mataji?
Hare Krishna, dear Mataji. Thank you very, very much for wonderful class. I'm very grateful for this series of classes. Very, very wonderful. Thank you very much. Nandaba pranams.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else? Say wonderful.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Nice to see that you joined us.
Thank you for the class.
Hare Krishna.
I have no questions today.
Okay, no problem. So we'll end now. Maybe we'll just sing a little.
Thank you for the
Hare
association.
Krishna. We'll just sing Hare Krishna Mahamantra for a while, and then we'll end the class. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Shingdev Bhagavan ki jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, all the devotees. Vanchikalpa Tribhescha, Prasanna Devcha, Bhavnabhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear
Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Dandava Pranam.
Radhe Radhe.